Hi guys, it's Avalisa, and this week on Trans Youth Channel, we are talking about My Transsexual Summer. We were all asked to watch it on YouTube, and it's available. All 4 episodes of it are available on YouTube. So I definitely suggest going to watch it whether you're trans or not. Um, and my personal my personal opinion of the show is that it was amazing to see trans men and trans women come together with a sense of community and for them all to be able to be there together and support each other. It's something that I think I'm very lucky to have. Two of my best friends are transgender women, and I love them. I love them. They are two of the best friends that anyone could ask for, and to have two of your best friends be going through the exact same thing as you, it's wonderful. And I'm really glad they all got the chance to meet each other, because one thing that I've said before is when you're going through something like this, it's so easy to feel like you are all alone. But in reality, you are not. Trust me. Um, so there were a couple of things that I wanted to hit. I did want to talk about each person individually. Karen, I loved Karen in the show. She, without trying, had a very motherly role, and it was just really good to see them do a reality show and not exclude our older sisters, because so often you see just the younger group and the people who transition very early. You see those people in the media, and it was very good to see someone who transitioned later in life. We also have Donna, and I loved the F out of Donna. Um, Donna is just one of those strong and powerful women who honestly doesn't care what everybody else has to say. And, I think we are very alike in our approach to being trans. Um, Personally, if I could take a pill and wake up tomorrow as a natal woman, I would do it. But because that's never going to happen, I will always be trans. And when I meet people and I talk to them, that's something that comes out of my mouth, um, because I don't feel like it's something to hide. Um, and I'm very proud to be a transgender woman. Not very many people get to, experience life the way that we do. There was also Drew, and I saw a lot of myself in Drew because, you know, though the world is an easier place than it was, years ago, decades ago, for transgender transsexual people, it's still kind of rough. It's still kind of dangerous. And to see someone afraid to put themselves out there, it kind of touched me. And to see her overcome all of that was just it was wonderful. It was wonderful to watch, and the growth that she went through in this summer, or through this summer, it was really amazing to watch, to be able to experience someone else's growth. And there was also Sarah, who was the earliest in her transition, and I think a lot of times we forget where we start. Um, and I was looking through old pictures, and I was like, "Oh, girl, I was busted. I was busted back in the day." And we start somewhere. We all start somewhere, and to see someone at their starting point definitely gave a very wide range of the actual transition, and I really appreciated that. And seeing that I'm a trans woman, I don't often get to see what trans men go through. And Max was the biggest sweetheart in the world. I loved watching him. I loved everything that he had to say. He was just a very wise person, and you could tell that by the way he talked and the things he said, and it was just beautiful to see. Fox, so cute, so cute. Fox was like Sarah and was in the beginning of his transition and, was kind of down on himself for not being as far along as he wanted to be. And in the end, learned about patience and a beautiful journey, a beautiful growth that we saw within that summer. And Lewis, who was considering top surgery, and well, more than considering, he was getting top surgery, but couldn't find the motivation or the funds or whatever it was that he couldn't find, to see him and his growth in finding, the means to get that done and finding the motivation and the courage. He is 100% passable to me without the degree, and to up himself to everyone else and say, hey, I'm a trans man. I have boobs and I want them gone. Can you help me out? It's very admirable to see somebody be that courageous. About the show as a whole, watching it and seeing that sense of community and support really made me want to have the same thing here, because that whole thing, the whole reality show was filmed over in Europe, and we haven't had that over here. And I saw, I think it was My Beautiful Daughter or My Beautiful Daughters on Netflix, which was an uplifting story of a bunch of trans women getting together and performing the vagina monologues, a modified version of the vagina monologues. And that was wonderful to see, but that was a while ago. And it made me think, what if all of us on Trans Youth Channel got together and spent the summer together? I think that would be, or spent a couple of weeks together. I think that would be an amazing thing to happen. And it honestly made me think, if I had the funds, would I put them up to have this happen? And I definitely would, to be able to, be around people who are going through the exact same thing you are going through, and people who have a voice, and people who aren't afraid, and people who are very uplifting. So it's out there. It's out there. So if anybody wants to make that happen, Avalisa wants to be a part of it. Another thing it made me consider was seeing Donna and Lewis's flirtation and all of that. And it made me question if I, as a trans woman, could date a trans man. And I did come to a conclusion. But I'm going to make a video about that on my channel. So if you want to check that out, you know where to find me. But as far as My Transsexual Summer, those are my thoughts. I loved it. I loved it. And I would suggest it to anyone. I would recommend it to anyone to watch, because it was really uplifting as a trans person. And as someone who's not trans, it'll be like an opportunity. Just like watching our videos, you get to see what's going through our head, but you don't always get to see what we go through on a daily basis. With this reality television sort of thing, you got to see what they were going through, not only their inner thoughts and the things that they felt like sharing, but the things that they went through in everyday life. So those are my thoughts, and until next Sunday, happy Sunday.